Alright guys, this is the Wolf X Pro from Cyelee Optics. It's an RMR style footprint red dot that is budget friendly, which is kind of what we focused on with Cyelee. And Cyelee did send this to me to give my honest review. They say it's duty rated, so we'll test and see just what we can do. Alright guys, so the first thing that you need to do when you get your Cyelee Optic is you want to be able to get it mounted onto the gun, and you're going to set the torque to whatever the rating is that they recommend in the box for your exact optic. Over torquing will lead to stripped screws. Under torquing will lead to a wobbly optic. I believe on this one the screws that I'm using with the RMR plate from Forward Controls Designs was at the 16 foot-pound torque setting. Now we've got a clean ID target, and we're just going to go ahead, put some rounds on paper and see what kind of group that we can go get. Let's go into the fifth shot. All right, so not a great group, and I can see that I'm actually a little bit high and to the right from where I was wanting to adjust. So all you need to be able to do in order to go ahead and clear the gun, to be able to adjust your zero, is we've got small adjustment knobs on both the right side and on the top. Now, one thing that people get confused is if I'm saying my impacts are high, does that mean that I need my dot to go up? So does up mean dot up? Well, no, up means that's where I hit, so I need my bullets to go up, or down means I need my bullets to go down. So in this case, instead of going up, we need to go down just a little bit. So we'll take our little tool, make our adjustments in the down direction. And we also see that we're shooting a little bit to the right, so we want it to go left. Consequently, again, make our adjustments with the side. Instead of moving ours to the right, again, we're going to just move a little bit to the left. Now, we'll go ahead, charge, and let's see how we hit now. And there we go. Now we're punching in the center. So those little adjustments, that's going to be the first step to making sure that your optic is good and ready. Now that we know that the optic is centered and zeroed, let's just kind of give it a, don't worry, it's empty. Oh no, I dropped my gun, because every YouTuber ever does the same basic test, right? We take the optic, beat it up a little bit, magazine's out, do that, grab our gun, gonna use it as a throwing star. Now, I don't know if I actually hit the optic or we're just beating a gun up at this point, but Cyelee did say that their optic was duty rated, and that kind of means you're going to put it through a lot of abuse. And I'll be honest, I checked out some of the reviews, and these things did get a bunch of reviews. Oh, it looks like we actually, so we nailed the actual electronics here with the tree. Got some bark in there. We got some nice scratches on the top, but you know what? Yeah, the emitter's still working. Glass is not broken. And we're still holding zero. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us in a very basic introduction to this dot, it's holding just fine. But let's talk about some of its other features. All right, guys, so one of the cool things about the Wolf X Pro and why I would recommend it over the Wolf 2, which is the astigmatism-friendly one, is that you have the multi-reticle system, very similar to what you would get with the Holosun or some of the other optics out there. All you have to do is first make sure it's not on the lock setting. If your optic isn't changing on this, you need to hold the power down button, I believe, or the light down button for 5 seconds to unlock the optic. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold the plus sign for 5 seconds. You count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to go from a crisp 3 MOA dot to a very broad 23 or 24, I can't remember the exact off the top of my head right now, MOA circle, which is good for close range C-zone targets. And if we want to have both precision and the C-zone target size, we hold it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to get the crisp aiming dot for precision with the ring dot to be able to kind of gauge. And I believe the reason for the 24 MOA, if I recollect properly, was when your target is approximately 15 yards away, if you put the dot over the individual, it will span exactly across their chest. That was the reasoning behind going for that instead of the more traditional 65 MOA that you would see on something, say like a Holosun or an EOTech. Besides, this is a pistol, after all, not your PCC. But can you use it for PCC? And the answer is sure. I mean, it is duty rated after all, so it's going to withstand the recoil from your 9mm PCC, and it will probably do just fine as an offsite cant for something like 223-556. And I actually have pretty good confidence with this model going on 308 because I've already tested the Wolf 2 on 308 and 50 AE and saw no issues with the electronics, so I would trust them as well. Now, will this be a good optic to carry on your EDC? Can you stake your life onto it? I mean, every optic will have a fault at some point. Electronic will fail, you'll get dirt inside your emitter and you won't be able to see the dot anymore. Just battery could phantom drain. Now, it does have this shake awake feature, and with the shake awake feature, they're talking about 50,000 hours, which is pretty standard for most red dots these days. So you won't have to worry about changing those batteries. But again, out of good practice, for anyone who uses a lot of red dots, on your birthday, go buy a set of batteries for all your red dots as a way to celebrate your birthday. Replace everything no matter what, whether it's a shake awake or whether it's not, and you're probably not going to run into any issues. That includes those that you have to manually turn off because the battery life on those generally lasts for about 1 year. Unless it's a Vortex Huey, the mailbox holographic, because that phantom drains faster than anything else I've got on my rifles, and I have to change those batteries about once every 3 months, even if the optic is completely off. So congrats to Cyelee for getting the shake awake feature in there, and I think congrats to Cyelee for making an optic that, in my opinion, it has a good form factor. It's built ruggedized, it's made out of a solid aluminum, and it feels like a chunker in your hand, so it's, you know, pretty good for that. The buttons are super clicky, although your actual zero adjustments, in my opinion, on the Wolf 2 was a little bit better because you actually had a tactile click, but the click was a looser feeling. On this one, it's much tighter. Now, I believe it's going to be somewhere either quarter or half MOA adjustments whenever you're doing the clicking. I believe it's quarter. So just keep that in mind going in. Outside of that, guys, this is a budget-friendly option for those who have an RMR footprint on something, let's say like the PSA Dagger, or if you're like me and run an M18, you can get an adapter plate. Just know that it raises it up a little bit. This particular one from Forward Control's design actually has a little dovetail in the back as well, so I can put a rear suppressor sight height, replace that with a suppressor sight height, and now I'm co-witnessing with my dot. I've enjoyed it. It's worked good for me. The little bit of abuse we put it through just now in this video doesn't seem to hamper it. I will say it does have the Achilles heel that most other optics have for red dots. It's very flat on the top surface. So if you were to drop this directly onto concrete from probably 4 or 5 feet, you're going to shatter the glass. There's no way around it, even with it being a ruggedized, which in their opinion just means a very thick aluminum wall on this optic. You're still at risk of shattering that. Now, this is where the Bull X Pro comes in, which is a competition red dot, and we're going to talk about that in another video at a later time. But guys, any final thoughts on this would be, if you're shooting into sunlight, you do get a very big emitter glow directly onto the glass. We'll throw a picture up. We saw that on the Wolf 2. We saw it really bad on the Bull X Pro today, and unfortunately, we still saw it on the Wolf X Pro. However, I think that's just a byproduct of the way that the red dot works in the emitter design. So don't let that sway you too bad. If you want to pick one up, you can grab these over at Amazon. Yes, the tactical lover's paradise. Everyone loves to shop for their tactical stuff at Amazon because either you're buying from China or you're buying knockoff products, right? No, but really, guys, they are available on Amazon. You can get 2-day shipping, so it's all cool about that. But what's even better is they've given my subscribers or my followers a discount code on this very optic. So if you use the code GATCAT20, or I'm sorry, it's GATCATX20 over on Amazon in your shopping cart, you're going to see an additional 20% discount on these optics for a limited time. So go ahead and check them out if you're looking for a budget-friendly RMR dot. All right, guys, that's all I've got. We'll talk again soon.